Hey, you guys. Good morning. Hey, so today we are going to jump into our actual brainstorm for narrative writing. Okay. Brainstorming for narrative writing looks a lot different than it does for our traditional writing that we've done in our class to this point. Before, when we would brainstorm, we would make sure that we had like our topic, we knew our audience, the purpose, and we had our keywords, like all set up there, and we were very specific. We had that circle in the middle with whatever our claim was, and we would build our ideas out from there. But when we are brainstorming for narrative writing, it looks very different. And so I want to walk you what I want you to do, and this will actually set you up for your assignment number 7 that is due on Thursday. Okay, so that will be included in the slideshow as well. Let's see if we can get it to go forward. Okay, so we talked last time about all of the different types of narratives out there in the world, and the one that we are going to specifically focus on is a personal narrative. Okay, and so this one focuses on like a special moment or an experience. Okay, and the tricky part about this one is you're trying to make it so that it's not too broad and it's not too specific as you go forward. And so there's a little bit of a balancing act there as we think about it and as we move forward, trying to play with those different ideas. And I'm going to show you guys kind of how we are going to narrow that down. Okay. So, looking here, I've given you guys a couple of ideas. Okay, where's places where you can go with this? So maybe a memorable childhood memory. Okay, so obviously, if you remember it enough that made it memorable to you for some reason, that stuck out to you as something that your brain thought, "Hey, I'm gonna want to remember this," or your emotions thought, "I'm gonna want to remember this." So maybe a special childhood memory. Another idea is maybe an experience that at the time seemed really insignificant, but ever since, like it's just really held this tiny place, right special for you here in your heart. So that's another good one. Maybe a time that you gained strength and confidence from accomplishing something you originally thought you couldn't do. Now, this happens to all of us because there's this little voice inside our head that says, I can't do that. I can't. I just can't do that. And then it turns out when we try, oh my gosh, we actually can, right? So maybe that's something that you want to talk a little bit more about. Specific places. Maybe there was, maybe you want to talk about a trip that you took that was really amazing and it holds a really special place in your heart. Maybe you don't even need to go on a trip. What about, your grandma's house? Does that hold a special place for you? Maybe your aunt, maybe your neighbor's house. Maybe there is something your older brother or your older sister's place, like where maybe there's a specific spot that holds special a special place in your heart, and you can talk about why. Okay. You can also write about a particular time when you had to be brave, or show some courage. Again, like we do a lot of hard things that we don't think we can, and sometimes it takes some like intestinal fortitude, right? Where you're just like it takes guts to have to do that. So you can talk about kind of that bravery and that courage, or maybe you can about someone who has touched your life. Somebody that maybe you're really close to, or maybe you don't know this person very well at all, but that relationship that you have, it touched you in some way that you keep it special. Okay. These are some more ideas. If you you still get stuck, these are some other ones. You can imagine where you'll be and what you're going to be doing exactly 20 years from today. So I'm recording this on April 13th. So what am I going to be doing in 20 years from today? I don't know, hopefully something outside, right? Um, be detailed. Okay. Another idea, write about a unique experience that happened because you were traveling. Like if you hadn't been out doing those things, then maybe this something wouldn't have happened. Um, maybe you don't have any of those. You can also write about your experience during this coronavirus pandemic, which every single one of us has experienced in a little bit different way. Like, what I'm taking away from this is very different from what my own kids are taking away from this, and we're in the same house. So, I can't even imagine what you guys are thinking right now, what you're feeling, what have you been doing? So all of those things are some ideas that you can pull into a personal narrative. Um, and a last thought on this, like many really great stories follow like a pretty simple formula. There is a person, there's a place, and there is some kind of a problem. And so you use this to kind of describe your problem or and how was it solved or was it at all? Okay, so keep these ideas in mind. And I'm also going to give you, there's going to be a worksheet that is uploaded into Google Classroom that you can either print out and use, or you can just do it on a blank piece of paper. Again, whatever works for you. And if none of those things are helping, then that's what these ideas were for. Okay. So let's keep going. So this is assignment number 7. Okay. This is that worksheet that I was talking about. Okay, so it says your task is to brainstorm possible topic ideas for your personal narrative. You're going to use the boxes on the worksheet to help your brain, to help you brainstorm various events from your life that you can write about. And we talked earlier that trying to find that in between space where it's not too broad and it's not too specific. So I even gave you an example here, like too broad, surfing. Like don't just put surfing as your memory. That's too much. Like there's too much that can go into that and you can't really narrow that into one specific experience or thought. But on the flip side, if you're too specific or too narrow, if you're telling a story about the one time you fell off your surfboard and you got right back up. Okay, like you just told the whole story, right? So that's awesome if that was your example and there was a time that you took surfing lessons and you did fall and you did get back up. I want you to tell me more about it. Like I want to know why you were taking surfing lessons. Where were you? Like clearly you're not in Idaho when you're doing that. Who did you go with? Was it a special trip? Was it do you see what I mean? Like you can take a too specific topic and you can kind of broaden it. And same thing, you can take something that's way too big and you can kind of narrow it down to that one experience. Okay, so make sure that as you're playing with this, you're keeping this in mind. And then once you're finished, you're going to circle the event that you most want to write about. Okay, so, and again, if you don't have a printer at home, it's fine. You can just draw some boxes on a piece of paper and label them the same way that I did the worksheet and kind of go from there. So I'm going to give you an example quick. So this was the top 2 boxes, and I did a quick brainstorm for myself. Like if I were going to be writing this, and I'll write one right alongside you guys. So if I'm writing my personal narrative, I have the first 2 boxes are memories that are exciting and the memories that are scary. Okay, so I really quick, just some things that were exciting. When my family was in Hawaii, we visited an octopus farm. It's crazy, a lot of fun. We also got to go, not in Hawaii. Actually, this was just down in Utah. We got to go and watch NASA test a rocket for an upcoming launch a couple of years ago. That was really, really cool. Um, Another day, first day teaching junior high. That was really exciting for me. I was nervous. I really didn't know what to expect, but that was a good memory. Another one, hiking Kings Peak for the first time. This was when I was as a teenager, and Kings Peak was the highest mountain peak in Utah. And so my dad and I, we backpacked in and we hiked it. Those were some exciting memories. Um, and you guys can see like those are actual, like those were times that if I wanted to, I could really expound on those and I could create a story off of some of those memories. Over on the other side, I have some memories that are scary. One of them was walking past Satan's house. Satan was the name of this dog that lived down the street when I was a little girl, and he was terrifying. But you had to walk past it to get to the slide at the elementary school. They had like the best slide on the playground. Anyway, so walking past Satan's house, that was very scary for me. I also, again, when I was a teenager, I took a hike called Angel's Landing. It's down in southern Utah, and it was terrifying. It's really, really cool, totally worth it, but it was terrifying. Um, Also had an experience with some sheepdogs at a friend's ranch. They were very scary. Another time I was on a boat in the middle of Bear Lake when a crazy storm came out of nowhere, and it was really scary as we tried to make our way back to shore without sinking. Um, so those are just some really, really basic, quick memories, that I wrote down that kind of helped me. They kinda get my creative juices going a little bit, to get me thinking about what I wanna write about. And, so once you're done with all your boxes, right? Your job then is to choose the one that you think, okay, you know what? This is the one that I feel comfortable sharing with Mrs. Kidd. I feel comfortable sharing this with the rest of the class. And you're going to circle it, take a picture of it, and upload it into Classroom. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing some brainstorming. I'm going to take a look at these and I'm going to choose one myself that I am then going to, in fact, maybe I'll just do that now. I'm going to choose walking past Satan's house. Like that's the one that I am going to write about. Okay. So by the end of this, we'll have a whole story about, or a whole narrative about me walking past my neighbor's house, and it was terrifying. Okay. So that's your job. That is assignment number 7. It is due on Thursday. So you have a couple of days to work through this. Because I know sometimes you say, "Hey, quick, tell me some memories." You're like, "I don't know. I don't even know my name. I don't know where I live. I don't know who I am. It's too hard, Mrs. Kidd. I can't do it." It's fine. You got a couple of days. Okay? So don't spiral yourself into a crazy place. But choose one and upload it into Classroom, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.